Hey guys, welcome back to another Titus Diorama and action figure review. And today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to teach you how to make your own background. Specifically a castle slash brick background, similar to what you see here in front of you. We are going to go through everything you need to know, from the materials, the cost list, to the actual making of the actual diorama. At the end of the day, I hope, or at the end of the series, I hope that you're inspired to make your own, and if so, please tag me in any photos that you put on Instagram or whatnot at Titus Diorama and Action Figure Reviews. I'd love to see what you have built. But with that stated, let's get into the first video of this particular series. I just want to give a big shout out to @ThomasGoesNostalgic for inspiring me to create this series for you guys. He is currently doing his own series, and at the end of that particular series, he is giving one lucky viewer the sewer layer that he's building. So check it out. I would encourage you to jump over to his channel after you finish watching my video, subscribe to his channel, and check out all the great content that he has to offer. So one of the first very important steps to do to kind of get yourself set and ready to go for success with making your own backdrop is planning out what it is that you want to do. In this case, we are doing a castle slash brick wall backdrop, and I've decided to make it really easy, and that's by using just one foam sheet of the 24-inch by 24-inch squares, and then we're going to break it down to each one of the bricks being 1 inch high and 2 inches across. And we're going to stagger those so that way it looks really great when you actually do all the design work on your actual foam. Now I do have a side view and a top view here, just kind of show how it's going to finish off on the sides and how it's going to look across the top. But let's go ahead and get into the materials now that we know what we're looking at. Alright, so here is the material guide. Now I have broke it down to two separate material guides. The top one is if you don't have any of the tools, you're just starting off and you need to buy the cutting mat, the box cutter, the T-square, the paints, the tinfoil, the foam, and if you already have all the tools, the second one here is what you're going to be looking at buying in order to make this particular diorama. It's a fairly cheap diorama or backdrop to make if you already have the tools, as you can see. Now, one of the things I want to point out here, and it is highlighted down here as well, is that at least here in Canada, it's $2.99 minimum per acrylic paint. It can get up more than that depending on where you're buying it from, and depending on how many different shades of paint that you're going to want on the actual backdrop will judge what the cost is going to be. So the 1126, the 2224 that you see here is based on if there is just one paint color. You're most likely going to have multiple paint colors because you're probably going to do a base coat in black or maybe a really dark gray, and then you're going to have lighter grays that you're going to put in, or different colors that you're going to put in to really highlight those bricks and highlight the texture and stuff that you put into that. So that way, you know, looking at both of these, where you're going to be coming from for cost wise. This again is all in Canadian. Please reference your own location if you're in the United States or in the UK or Australia or wherever you may be. Most of this can be found at Amazon or at like Lowe's here in Canada, or Michael's. So please check that out. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about what you're going to need and materials wise to do this particular background. So first thing I would suggest you get yourself is, if you don't already have one, is a self-healing mat. You can get them at like the dollar store, you can get them at Michael's, really any sewing store. The next thing you're going to need is a couple rulers, and I'd recommend having a T-square. I couldn't find mine for the purpose of this video right now, and the only other one I have is a massively long one, so I wasn't going to be able to fit it in this particular view. But you just need one or two rulers. Of course, you're going to need yourself a couple different types of cutters, so a box cutter and this little guy, more so for the more detailed work if you're going to be doing that. You are also going to need either a sharpener or extra blades for those, because the foam that you're going to be using is going to eat through those blades very quickly. Speaking of that, this is the type of foam that I use. I find this at Lowe's or Rona up here in Canada, but wherever they may be sold, wherever you are at, definitely check that out. You're gonna need some tin foil, and you're gonna ball it up, and you're gonna use this to texture that foam. Of course, you're gonna need a pencil, maybe not the eraser, but at least the pencil, to kind of highlight where you're putting those lines in on your piece of foam. And then once you've got the foam all marked out, you've carved everything up, you textured everything, you're going to want to paint that. And I just got a couple examples of paint here, of course a black and a brown. Now you may use a little paint tray like this, or you can use just paper towel or whatever you want to put on, or you can just pour the paint onto the actual diorama itself and paint it that way. You're going to need some paint brushes in a wide variety of sizes to do that. So really you don't need a heck of a lot to do a diorama with, or at least a simple backdrop with. In the next video we will start with putting our blueprint layout on the actual foam and start carving and texturing. Until next time guys, stay nerdy.